Today we're going to look at how to access our online textbook. That is the electronic version of the textbook that we're using in class. The first thing that you want to do is open your browser, whatever that might be, and into the tab type www.sciencesource.ca. You can see it's popped up on my screen here. And when we enter that, we come to the host for our textbook. And along the panel in the middle there, we see a whole range of textbooks come up. We are using the grade 9 textbook, so we're going to go to that textbook and click on it. And we come to a login page. Along the side is a list of choices. We are interested in looking at Investigating Science 9, but in order to be able to actually see the textbook itself, we're going to have to log in first. So we go to our login, and we use the login username that you've been given in class. And the password that you were given in class, and submit. So we're now logged in, and again we're given a couple of choices. Without login, the only thing you can access is the Investigating Science 9, so highlight that and click. And you could go to any of the units that we are looking at. We're going to have a look at the first unit in the textbook, physical textbook, and the first unit here, which is Ecosystems. So when you click on that unit A, it comes up with the chapters in order. And I wanted to show you this one in particular because with the chapter 1 also comes the student book for the table of contents and the introduction, so that would be before Unit 1. And it gives us the Chapter 1 book, so that's this tab that I've got here, Electronic Student Book Chapter. That is Chapter 1. But we also see here we've got the skills references from the back of the textbook and also the glossary and index. So if you were working in, let's say, Unit D on electricity and you wanted to use the glossary, you would still come into Ecosystems Chapter 1 to get the book glossary. We don't see that necessarily for each unit. So if we are looking for the textbook itself, we would come to this Electronic Student Book Chapter, Chapter 1, and as we scroll down, we'll see that the new chapters are always indicated with these chevron icons before them. So we've got the Chapter 1 student book here. So if we click on that, it will open into our actual textbook, and you'll be able to scroll through the textbook. The pages are exactly the same as what we have, so you can see the page numbers at the bottom. If I assign some questions or something, the text numbers, page numbers are the same. And again, you can see that the pages are visually exactly the same as what we've got in our print textbooks. So here's our 1.1. We've got any of our quick labs are in there. We've got our checkpoint questions. So if you have a look here, we can see learning checkpoint, where you're being asked to do some of the questions. And as you continue through, it would be everything that you would see in the textbook itself. This website has a lot of other things as well, though. So besides the chapter book, if we look down, we'll see that there are tabs associated with each page that give us other information or other places that we can look for additional information or help. A lot of these pages the tabs are telling us sort of extra information we could look at. So for instance, here we've got something about the northern leopard frog. Not only do we have print information, but we can see here we've also got a link to a video about the leopard frog. So if you wanted to watch a video, if you're more of an auditory visual learner, that might be something that you wanted to do if we were talking about that in class to follow up on something we were doing. We also see here in page tab 2 that we've got some introductory videos, in this case one about endangered species. There could be all kinds of different information that is an accompaniment to the book. So not only do we have videos and text information, but we can also have something like this, which is a CBC radio podcast. So you could also listen to a podcast using this login on your smartphone. You could put your headphones on and listen to something about the disappearing bumblebee. Other things that you'll see here, smart book, a smart notebook lesson. This would be something that would be used on a smart board, possibly by a teacher, but you can access these at home as well. All you need to do is download the Smart Notebook software and you could access that file. Some other things that may be of interest, and I'm just scrolling down through what's available here, are some of the quizzes. So here there is a matching quiz. If you click on that, it'll load and you'll see it'll come up with a page like this where you can drag answers up into a location, and as you work through the quiz, it will give you the answers that you missed, so you can go back and review the terms again. Another kind of quiz that you might see would be section quizzes. So here we see page 21 is associated with a section quiz, a 1.1, the first section, and you could go in and again you'd be able to answer some multiple choice or true and false type questions. In this case, I just kind of randomly picked an answer, and you can see that it's telling me that my answer was incorrect. Try again. So I'd be able to, which statement is false? Let's try this one. And they're telling me that's incorrect. Okay, there, now I've got the correct answer, and that teaches me, number one, that I didn't know what biodiversity was, and also gives me a chance to figure out what is or is not part of the definition for that. So again, it's a good self-check. So there are lots of other resources here that can be used to help build your understanding for the unit. Also, you see here are the crossword puzzles that often we'll do in class, which you can load up and you can actually do right online, and it'll give you some feedback about your answers. So you can do it as a game, it'll give you hints, and you can check your answers and see if they are correct. So that's exactly the puzzles that we occasionally do in class that you can do right here online. We're going to keep scrolling down. Again, you'll see there's a lot of other resources like some OSSLT practice. You may not be thinking about that yet, but of course you'll be doing your OSSLT. That's your literacy test in grade 10, so we're building some skills here. There are some art activities that are here for you to have a look at, so a little bit more visual that you could work through, maybe give you some animation. And maybe if you're somebody who needs to practice things like labeling, we've got some more sort of quiz-like setups that you could use to improve your labeling. We can see this is a diagram from the textbook, and then at the bottom we've got some spots where we can label the various movement of water from this water cycle diagram. So lots of material there for you to use. There's also connections to Gizmos, which we'll occasionally use in class, and you can see that this is one of those connections where you'd be able to do some investigating on your own if you wish. We can see some more videos and then some more of these yellow tabs. So there's a dry lab highlighting some feature of that unit. You, in this case, have one where they're looking at photosynthesis and its importance in ecosystems. So if you click on this, it'll run you through a procedure, and then you'll have some questions that you can answer in relation to the lab itself. So lots of extra resources here that you can use. And when we get to the end of the chapter, you will be able to tell that you're starting into a new area because you'll be looking for those chevrons again. So I'm just scrolling down to the end of Unit 1, or Chapter 1 rather, and you can see here is the beginning of Chapter 2. So there's a chapter quiz you could take and so on. Lots and lots of material that you can look at if you want to, quite apart from just the chapter. And again, here we've got Chapter 2. You could go in, you click on the student book, and then we're into Chapter 2. So still Unit A, still ecology, but we're looking here at the Chapter 2. So I hope that helps you access your online textbook and take advantage of all of the extra resources that you will find there.